guys, how's it going? Today we have another exciting planting project. This is going to all go out to the new property, which I think we're going to call it the South Garden. We're going to see if that sticks because it's located on the southern part of our property, so it makes sense. And then we can stop calling it the new property because it's not like technically new anymore. And I don't know how long we'd get away with calling it the new property. I don't know. It made sense for the first year or two. So going out to the South Garden, full sun area. All of these plants can handle full sun. And this is kind of a faith in planting video because while these plants will provide a ton of color, there's no color on them right now, obviously. So we'll try to put some pictures on the screen so you can see what we're going to be excited to expect next year out of these plants. I've got 3 varieties of Baptisia here, which I've got several other Baptisia in our garden and they perform wonderfully for us. I've got a rose called Senorita, and then we've got tater tot arborvitaes, which are the cutest, most miniature evergreen ever. And I'm excited just to tuck these in as an accent evergreen. So Senorita Rose first. The reason I'm okay with putting this one out onto the new property is that it actually requires very little maintenance on my part. You can deadhead them if you want to. You don't have to. I have a few others like lemon zest. I have the Oh So Easy paprika. I don't deadhead those. I just let them do what they're gonna do, and I don't even notice. It's just, it could be because of the sheer amount of blooms that the plants produce. You just kind of are distracted from anything else on the plant. So that's the reason I'm okay, because I did want to stick with low maintenance stuff out there. They grow 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, so they're not enormous. They will really love the full sun exposure out there. I think they need a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of sun to produce the most amount of blooms. You can see that there are buds. See that right there? There are several buds on, well, this plant in particular, which is exciting. So we may see some color from this one yet this year. The buds come out a kind of vibrant yellow-red blend, which makes it look a little bit on the orange side. And when they open, they're beautiful orange yellow, kind of like a mix of At Last and Italian Ice to me. They kind of look like a blend of that, which I really like that color in the garden. It's kind of like sunset. And then it mellows out to a really golden yellow color. So I'm looking forward to that color throughout the summer from this plant. Zone 5 through 9, disease resistant. They do prefer to have good airflow, like most other things. You know, if you can cut down on some of those factors that would maybe cause problems, especially in more humid or wet areas, definitely do that. The tater tot arborvitae here. So this one I think is a zone 3 through 7. Oh, let me double check. Yeah, it is a 3 through 7. Look at this. This is almost full grown. They just get 12 to 24 inches tall and wide. This cute little fluffy shape. So they're a type you can just tuck in really even on the edge of a flower bed for a little bit of winter interest, something you don't ever have to prune. In fact, you can prune if you need to, but with something this small, I don't think you would ever really want to because the look, like the very soft ferny look of the tips of the leaves here are just so pretty. I really, really like them. They're really good for containers as well, just because they stay on the small side. Now, arborvitaes do tend to want to be in an area with consistent moisture, not an area that holds onto water. They want it to drain away, but they want it to receive water consistently. We have a drip irrigation system out there, so we will be able to maintain that. You can also mulch them up. 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch around the root system or the root ball of this plant will help with moisture retention, and it'll kind of help keep the roots cooler, which will keep your arborvitae happier. Okay, so moving on to the next group of plants, which they look great when they're all kind of pushed together here, but I have 3, 6, 11 Baptisia in this section right here. There's a lemon meringue, which is a beautiful yellow, like vibrant yellow, but the stems are a charcoal gray color, so the contrast is really beautiful. And they grow 3 by 3. Then I've got one called Blueberry Sundae, which also grows 3 by 3 and has really beautiful, they look like lupins, the bloom stalks on these, but they're much taller. So the Blueberry Sundae, beautiful bluish purple blooms. And then I have one called Blue Bubbly, which gets a little bit bigger than the other two. So 4 to 5 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. The thing I really like about these, they bloom late spring through early summer, but after they're done blooming, look at the leaf structure on these. I think they're beautiful. They add kind of a blue tinge. So they're not just like a straight up green, they add a little bit more interest. And then if you leave the bloom stalks on, they're followed by really beautiful seed pods in the fall. So they do provide multiple seasons of interest. You get spring, summer, and fall, and then we cut them back and they come back fresh every single year. Now they're a really good plant for a real crummy area. If you've got crummy soil, these are really adaptable to that, so long as the soil is well draining. They do want full sun if possible, so minimum of 6 to 8 hours. They attract bees and butterflies. They're just a really wonderful plant. I have one called Pink Lemonade behind the chicken coop. I think I planted like 7 of them all together, and it is the most gorgeous thing when they're all in bloom. I just love them. And if I didn't mention, they are a zone 4 through 9. So I'm gonna just put these kind of together in their variety groups in different spots out there. I think we should just head out and plant all of these, and then we'll do a little tour in the end. So let's do a little tour. I'll show you where everything ended up, starting with the blue bubbly Baptisia. This is the one that grows approximately 4 to 5 feet tall. So I mean, it has a potential of getting this tall-ish, and then 3 to 4 feet wide. I've got some Desert Plains Pennisetum, which will take kind of the front row here, and then there's a whole bunch of space left where I can do some shorter stuff. And that's kind of the thing, like right now I have no master plan for planting out here, so like in terms of knowing what I'm going to plant next, I have no idea. But when I get my hands on something, I can kind of gauge where I need to put them based on size, knowing that like in this little island right here, I want it to be taller in the center and then graduate in size down to the walkways here. So along the walkways I want shorter perennials, shorter grasses and shrubs, and then we'll work our way up. So knowing that this one can get up to 5 feet, I thought it needed to kind of bump back into the bed, and then we'll build in front of that with some shorter things. So did I mention these have lavender blue flowers that are like 16 inches long? Like huge bloom panicles. I'm super excited. I haven't seen this one bloom in person yet, so I'm very excited for next spring to see what this one does. Right across the walkway here, we planted the lemon meringue Baptisia, which is a shorter shrub. So this one is closer to the edge of the bed. I've got the Granada Gold Echinaceas here, and it looks like, I'm trying to locate where the grass sprinklers actually are, right here. So the edge of the bed is actually right here. I haven't edged this yet. So knowing that this one only gets 3 feet wide, I'm still gonna have plenty of space to come in with a little drift of something in front, and there are 5 of them right here. It'll look really pretty to have some really striking color here in the spring. I actually started working on edging the other grass walkway this week. So as soon as I'm done with that one, we're gonna come in here and get the grass weeded. I think this is the first time we've actually walked and driven on it for a project. It's super exciting. Right here, this is where we decided to put the Senoritas. So again, these grow 3 to 4, no, just 3 feet by 3 feet. So I put, I think, how many do I have here? 6 of them in a grouping. I think it'll be really stunning and striking out here. That's the thing too, in a bigger area, you do want to plan to do a bigger drift of things, as opposed to if you're in a smaller space, you can get away with one in a small garden. And you know, some of our smaller flower beds, I'll tuck just one of something in rather than needing to do a bigger drift. I've got the totem poles right behind, which these get huge, really tall. So this will be our next layer down. Then I tucked a tater tot right here. I think that's really cute. I've got a hibiscus. This is an evening rose hibiscus right here. So we've got the nice dark leaf color. We'll have a little evergreen interest. These, I would like to attempt to have these stay up through the winter. I'm gonna see what they do this year. If they end up flopping over and kind of creating a mess, I'll probably start trimming them back in the fall, but I'd like to see what they do. Anyway, I did leave some space right in here. So our drift of whatever's gonna go in front will start right here. That's why there's kind of this, it could kind of look awkward a little bit until you get all of your pieces together. But we'll start the drift here, have it kind of be wider here, and then it'll probably taper this direction. One of these had a bud with some color right here. Come look at this. This made me so excited. I didn't notice this before. So there you can see what I'm talking about. How it has that beautiful orange look. So excited about these. And the blooms are so fluffy when they open up. The other tater tots across this way. Oh my goodness, it's like I have to fight the urge to bend over and pull these weeds in the grass. There's the other tater tot right there, next to our proudberry coralberry that we took out of the container and planted, it was in a fall container last year and it was still there this summer. So we planted that out. This one gets 3 to 4 feet wide. So this will just be a nice little accent. We've got another totem pole here. Whatever we plant, we'll probably start here, like whatever we plan to drift will be taller than this. It'll start back in here and wrap its way around. What that plant is going to be, I don't know. The next and last plant is over on the other side. And this is where the blueberry Sunday Baptisia ended up. Because I had 7 on hand, I was only gonna plant 3, decided to plant 7 in a big drift because I think it'll make quite the statement back here. And you know, it's really easy to want to plant everything next to the walkways, but I want to start spreading some stuff out and getting things going in different areas. And I think this will be a perfect spot for it. It'll get plenty of sun. The area around here, like this is really one of the last areas over here that you can see white dirt. Like this is our native powdery soil right here. And in the next, I think, few days, we're going to have a compost delivery. We're going to top dress instead of with mulch. We're going to use compost in this whole area for the next couple of years, or maybe going forward, just to let that compost work its way slowly down into our native soil, and it will cover over all of this stuff. So all the infrastructure of all the drip will be covered over. This was actually leftover mulch we had delivered bulk for the cut flower garden, and we picked up as much as we could with the bucket of the tractor, and then we ended up with some random bits that we couldn't really pick up because it would pick up native soil too. Anyway, so we just spread out what was left over here. That will all be covered over, so this whole area will look very clean and put together. I'm very much so looking forward to that, but I will be building up from this. So this whole area will be just decked out with stuff. We'll have a little walkway through it, and then right on this side we'll probably leave about, I'm guessing, this much space for gator access around the berry beds, and then in front of the grape structure there. So anyway, it's just coming together really nicely. And this is definitely, of everything we planted today, the one that's the faith in planting, because they were in the greenhouse. They do need more sun and more exposure than they were getting in there. So I think they'll be very happy now that they're in the ground. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.